What is your biggest goal and expectation for this international competition?
Yeah, of course, we would love to win. I think in terms of hardware, it's already quite a good machine. So last year we played with a totally different self-made robot, and this year we switched to the Pi Plus robot, and the motors are much stronger and the robot is much more robust compared to the last robot, so we are able to do a lot more with it. In terms of software, we just started 3.5 months ago, so we haven't had so much time to adapt, but I think we did quite well despite of that. So we use all our own software and a little bit of the software from Hydrox. So we use the kick reinforcement learning kick. And I think most of the software is very stable, and having very stable software is very important. So all of the components have to work well together, and making them all robust is kind of a key to winning RoboCup or to performing well in RoboCup.
What do you think is the main difference between European teams and the Chinese teams in RoboCup competitions?
Yeah, so the world is changing quite a bit of humanoid robots, and there's a lot of new Chinese teams coming now, and a lot of the teams from Europe, they're much older, and they've collected more experience on how the RoboCup itself works, so how the competition works, but there's also a lot of new innovation, especially in terms of hardware and in terms of reinforcement learning and motion that's coming from China. So a lot of Chinese teams are really good at motion and in hardware, and the behavior, the RoboCup behavior, I think a lot of European teams have still a bit of an edge, but making the combination would be very beneficial. Yeah.
Congratulations at Hamburg Bit-Bots team of winning the runner-up. And is this the best outcome ever for Hamburg Bit-Bots team?
Yeah, so the Bit-Bots have existed since 2011, and yeah, we've played the first time in 2012, and this has been the best result for us so far.
What do you think are the most urgent places that need to be upgraded in terms of hardware?
So we played with a bit of an older model during the competition, and there were already a few upgrades which we would have liked as well, but we didn't have time to switch between the robots. So there's a few upgrades already done. There's a little thing about the camera cable that if you want to replace the camera cable, that could be done better. The zeroing procedure could be improved. The placement of the USB ports at the back is it's working, but it's a bit dangerous if the robot falls to the back. So that could be improved. But overall it's quite capable. It's just a few small things that are only coming up when you do a real competition, and that when you use the robot for quite a while.
HyperWorks hardware live up to your expectations?
So I think our expectations for hardware are relatively low, not because of high torque, but because of our past. In the past we've played with other robots, and we've had lots of hardware problems with the past because most of our students, most of our team doesn't have a background in hardware, but rather software. So we've always struggled quite a lot with hardware. In the simulation in 2021, we played in simulation because of the COVID. We performed actually quite well. So when there was no hardware in the picture, we did quite well. So I think we had relatively low expectations, and they were exceeded. We saw the robots at the German Open 2026 in March, and we were like, yeah, this could be a robot that we can work with. So yeah, we are really happy with the robot so far.
Looking to the future, what are Hamburg Bit-Bots' expectations or vision of continuing building this open source community?
So yeah, we are heavily invested in contributing to the open source community. Our software has been open source for quite a few years now, and we really think that's important in RoboCup, that you share what you do, especially after the competition is over, so that people can have a look, okay, how did other people do it, so that you don't have to reinvent all the time, but that you can progress together as a community, that you can see, okay, they had a great kick, for example, how can we adapt this, how can we use this for our own robot, and they can work on that further. Of course, it's still a competition, but at the end it's also a lot about sharing and progressing together, and that's only possible because of open source. And we are invested in contributing to that.